Can lymphatic drainage be used as a tool in your recovery after intense exercise? For many, bouncing back after pushing their limits can be a real challenge, managing soreness, fatigue, and recovery time. Recently, I visited the Hyrox athletic event here in Toronto to observe the athletes and the intensity of the competition. Today, I'm joined by Reza, a participant in this athletic event, as we look into how these treatments might reduce swelling, aid recovery, and help you feel your best after giving it your all. Stick around until the end of the video for a special bonus.
I saw you Wednesday. We did some manual lymphatic drainage. I thought that was, it was profound, that you saw the need for manual lymphatic drainage because we know inflammation is the body's natural response to injury and irritation. And in preparation, we're injuring the body so that we could withstand more injury during the tournament. So how was the lymphatic drainage before? If we could just talk about that. What was your experience with lymphatic drainage?
Some context. I came in just to get some sort of treatment before the event.
Yes.
And I'd heard amazing things from a trusted friend of mine, so I wanted to come in. She was saying amazing things, so just to because I train a lot, but I don't take the time to recover.
Yeah.
I maybe do yoga once a week, then they count that as recovery, but I need to make more time for recovery. So I felt the need to come in prior to the event to do something.
Yeah.
And just off the menu, I saw there was a bunch of options available, and then lymphatic drainage, I was curious to know what it is, and then you educated me a lot throughout the session. It wasn't any sort of type of intense treatment,
No.
And you mentioned it's not going to be.
Okay, so now tell me, you start the race today, and just give me a summary of how that was, where you are today, so that we can, focus on the recovery.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I think I'm gonna focus a lot more on recovery just in general, as I'm getting into my 30s and training more intensely than my 20s. I think that's super important.
Yeah.
But the race today was good actually. So the runs were a lot more doable.
Yeah.
So going back to the training, the way I was doing the runs was half a kilometer and then jumping into an exercise. So which is half of the actual thing. So I didn't do a full 1K run and doing an exercise.
Yeah.
Just because of the length of the training sessions. I had done just track runs for 8K or just going for a run for 8K, but without any exercises in between. So again, so today was good. I think initially I was anxious. I had a bit of a fear around some of the exercises, like sled push, sled pull, despite the fact that I had done the same weight during training.
Yeah. But you talked about your legs.
Yeah, when you do the full thing. So the legs are, so I think the way I try to strategize it is you can use your upper body for some things and not use your legs all the time.
Yeah.
So for example, you can do that for ski ergs or for rowing. You can just mostly use and it's for the same thing for the sled push and sled pull. You can mostly use your upper body. So I try to focus on that. Wall balls, for example, you do use your shoulders and your traps as well, but your legs are fully involved. You can't get away with it. So I try to do that. Same thing goes with lunges, for example. Lunges, you're mostly using your legs. And during that, lunges are exercise number 7, so one before last. And I did get some cramps in my quads, both of them at the same time, almost shut down.
Yeah.
So I had to pause for 10 seconds. I thought it's gonna be tough to carry on because they were very painful.
Yeah.
But thankfully it disappeared.
Okay, so this is what we're going to focus on. So we're going to focus on releasing your fascia.
Okay.
And then we'll also just work on your lymph. So the treatment will be focusing on the lower extremities, but I'm just pumping the upper extremities.
What are the extremities?
So the extremities, I'm pumping, the extremities would be your armpit, your arm, your elbow crease, the pubic area behind the knees. So these are the main drains that we just want to open things because the lower extremities, again, there's a high concentration of fluid in the lower extremities, so the low concentration is up here. So I wanted to just make sure, almost like this room was full of water, which is the bottom of the lower extremities, and then outside the door, there's no water, which would be symbolic of this area. But we want to make sure that we're moving all of the debris and the tables and the people, so that when we open this door, the water can come in there with no obstruction. So we just
Very good. That was a very good metaphor. For lymphatic drainage, like I did feel that it worked because of how much like discharge I had.
Yeah.
But like, how often would you say you have to do it to like feel the benefits or like?
Well, you know what it is. Like anything, it's what is your goal for the treatment.
Yeah.
Again, there's clinical indications for lymphatic drainage, which would be lymphedema, where the lymphatic vessels are taxed or they're injured and the limbs are starting to swell and it can't take care of the fluid itself. Or if you had somebody broke their limb, snapped their femur, and then the leg was swelling up like a balloon, right? So we know that you need lymphatic support, right? So those, on that, or if somebody did cosmetic surgery and their face is swollen, right? Or, their legs are swollen. When you see the swelling, we know we got to bring the swelling down.
Okay.
But then there's also swelling, or there's subclinical indications that your lymphatic system is strained.
What are those?
Like foggy brain.
Okay.
Right? Digestive issues. Right? Acne.
Right.
Different autoimmune conditions. So the lymphatic system, just like rivers, generally they're bringing the water is going to circulate to a bigger body of water, the ocean. So that represents the circulatory system.
This ad is brought to you by Wellness with You. Need a little reset? Brazilian lymphatic drainage or advanced lymphatic drainage can support your body beyond just recovery. This treatment helps flush out toxins, reduce bloating, and boost your immune system, leaving you feeling lighter and more energized. Perfect for anyone seeking relief from everyday swelling or simply looking to feel more balanced. I offer these treatments in your home, making it easy to incorporate wellness into your routine. Feel the difference with advanced lymphatic drainage session. Book today.
There's deep fascia, and then there's fascia that is superficial. So because the lymphatic vessels are very superficial to the skin, like they're slightly under the skin, the fascia is there as well. So if the fascia is tight, it will restrict and arrest the lymphatic vessels. Before I move the lymph, I want to release the fascial adhesions. Right, so as I work here, you see how this feels different here? There's a little grittiness here.
Yes.
So this is also diagnostic for me. So what I mean by that is, as I go here, it's smooth road. When I start coming here, I know that this aspect of the muscle is getting more load than this area superficially. Not all muscles are carrying the same load, right? Oftentimes, so now this is like the division of your quad and then your adductors. You feel that now? A little bit more different.
Even more, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, it feels a bit bumpy, no?
Yeah. You see?
Yeah.
So for sure, I'm telling you, if you're an athlete, your IT band is, we call it the IIT band. Because it hurts when you foam roll on this area.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So it gets a lot of use if you're cycling, if you're riding, if you're a runner. Fascia can be intense.
Yeah.
The fascia work can be intense.
It wasn't though.
No, it wasn't. But it can be. But this is more superficial fascia.
Oh, I see.
Right? That's going to help the lymphatic vessels to move easier, but also it's going to help your muscles as well.
Every time I get a full body massage, the quads actually are very painful.
Yeah.
The same thing when I'm foam rolling. But like from this, I feel the tension is gone, but it's not as painful.
It's not as painful.
Like it feels like usually it takes me like 5 days of doing nothing to feel kind of like this. Like, I don't know like how it's gonna feel when I start walking, but.
So now again, right? You feel this, right? Smooth.
Yeah.
But above here, like, this is smoother than this.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more intense.
So what encourages muscle tension? Just like not recovering?
So muscle tension is, for one, you think about your legs. They never get a break. They're being used when we're walking.
Yeah.
right? Every day they're constantly being used. You're sitting, right? So naturally tension builds up. It's just like you have to relieve the area. How do we relieve it? Through stretching, through, you know, hydrotherapy, whether it's a steam room, sauna, Epsom salt bath, right? So what happens is just through gravity and how we're relating to gravity, you start losing range of motion. Like how many of us can actually do a squat comfortably? You know, and sit in a squat, right? So because of that, that lets us know to some degree, you're not getting circulation. So I think people need to be aware, like right now, lymphatic drainage is really, I've been doing lymphatic drainage since 2012 in hospital settings for less cosmetic, but more therapeutic and catastrophic accidents. So it's trending a lot in the cosmetic space, right? But people need to know that this is a significant part of recovery. Wow. Significant. With me, like not all therapists do this. Not all manual lymphatic drainage practitioners are manual therapists. So you're not gonna get that fascia and lymphatic drainage component. And I think particularly for athletes, people that are active, it's so important that you're getting your fascia release first and moving the lymph through the lymphatic system. Tell me how you're feeling from the treatment.
And also like so quickly as well. Yeah, so definitely like less intense than I'm used to with like foam rolling or just typical full body treatments. And it just doesn't feel like I've done an hour and a half of intense work, like basically destroying my legs.
So you feel significantly different from...
While I was lying down, I felt like the tension is gone. And
yes.
as I'm like now like standing up and like on my feet, it just is crazy how fast it can happen and without a lot of pain.
A lot of pain and a lot of energy. Like it wasn't difficult
right
for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't painful for you, but the results were you feel less tension, less pain, or soreness that generally accompanies deep tissue work, right?
So we just focus on the surface, not the muscles themselves, right?
We worked on the fascia, the superficial fascia.
Yeah.
There's many layers to fascia, but we worked on the superficial layer, the layer that directly affects the lymphatic vessels.
Cool.
Yeah.
And like the bumpiness, if we do this more often, is it gonna go away?
For sure.
Yeah.
And this is something that you could do as well.
Yeah.
You know, the IT band, as long as a good self-care tool, of course, is the foam roller.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're at home and you're just relaxing. You can get a tool, you know, a gua sha tool, and just roll, or not roll, but you know, scrape lightly the side. Not heavy. Okay. It doesn't have to be heavy. Yeah. But you feel the difference that very minimal effort or minimal force made with releasing the superficial fascia.
Is there a correlation between like how often you use it, hence the bumpiness, hence like, is it a correlation between that and injury?
Say it again?
So is there a correlation between like how, like you mentioned, the less smooth it is.
Yes.
There
is a correlation.
You're using it a lot more. That's the reason
so it's more prone. So as we started working on certain aspects of the muscle, the quad, for you know, the quad is 4 muscles, but the more lateral quad was more gritty. It felt like we were going over gravel, or it felt like leather, right?
Or the calf muscles.
Or the calf muscles or the hamstrings. That aspect of the muscles of the hamstring is made of 3 muscles, or 3 muscle groups. That area that you feel that's the most dense, it's getting the most load, so it's more prone to strains, more so than the other muscles. So
there is a correlation.
There is a correlation for sure. So you keep the fascia happy, you heal faster. Thanks for sticking around. As promised, here's your bonus, a curated list of 10 simple techniques you can do on your own to support your lymphatic health. Head to the video description and click the link to download your free list.